Well, welcome back. This is Lori Kreitz, and this is Be the Light. Today, we're going to talk about mentors, why they're important, how to choose them. So, I just want to share, my husband and I have been married for 17 and a half years, and we have 5 children. We homeschool our kids, and we believe in discipline. And in the journey of having just being married and moving through life, I began to realize that having a mentor was a really wise decision. Having someone that I could call on, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, maybe just once a year, and run some ideas by and ask questions of was going to be a really good idea for me. So in the beginning, when Shane and I were engaged, I found a mentor who was already married. And she and I did a Bible study together that was called Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. And we also did a book, we studied a book together called Lady in Waiting. And both of those books helped me to build a foundation of knowing how to have a great marriage and knowing how to be a wife that was supportive and loving to my husband and yet could communicate the things that I needed in our marriage. And the one of the most beautiful things about that time in my life was that we met on a weekly basis. And because she was a newlywed, she was still really excited about marriage, and being married. And so I was able to ask her a lot of questions that I had about, what was it like to live with someone 24/7, and what happens whenever you grow impatient with that person? How do you deal with that? And so that time really helped me to be prepared for when we got married. And so when Shane and I got married, we moved from Fort Worth, Texas, down to San Antonio. I graduated from college, and we moved to San Antonio. And so I was then a newlywed and had moved away from my mentor. And in the next couple of years, we started having babies, and so I realized that I needed to find another mentor. And what I've learned is that there's not one person on earth that is as wise as Solomon. And so it's actually good to have several different mentors from several different areas of life. So I have a mentor that I call now on a regular basis. A mentor is basically someone who is maybe a little bit older than you, maybe not, but definitely someone who is farther along down the road, the path that you're wanting to go. So if it's if you're looking for a mentor to mentor you through having preschool kids, then probably having a mentor who has children that are in elementary school or high school is a good fit. Your mentor needs to be someone that um, you look up to and you see the fruit in their life. So if you definitely want to choose someone who has the kind of kids that you want to have, right? Someone that their kids are doing the things that you want them to do. Maybe it's going to church, maybe it's treating their siblings with compassion and kindness. Maybe it's being respectful and opening the door for an elderly, for their elders. Maybe it's honoring and respecting their elders. Maybe it's looking their elders in the eyes. Look for when as you're looking for a mentor, look for someone who has great fruit on the tree. Someone who has kids that are doing some really great things that you really respect and admire, and someone that is farther along down a path than you are. So Shane and I have a couple of financial mentors that we talk to a couple times a year. We always talk to them before we make major financial decisions to buy a house, to sell a house, to make an investment, to buy a car, that kind of thing. We always call our mentors, our financial mentors especially, before we make major decisions, and just run an idea by them, just so we can hear from a voice of reason, a voice of experience, someone who has gone through these things before and has been where we are. Our financial mentors make more money than we do. They're farther along financially than we are. There's a quote that says, You are who you will be 5 years from now, except for the people you know, the books you read, and the places you go. And so there's another quote that says, if you were to take the 5 couples you're closest to and add up all of your incomes, including yours, and then multiply it by all the people in that group, it would average out your income. And so who you hang around really does matter. Who your mentors are, it matters. Who you're listening to, it matters. So we have financial mentors, we have mentors, now we have teenagers. And so our mentors, we have progressed in our mentors. Our mentors used to have kids that were in elementary school when our kids were in preschool. And now that we have teenagers, our mentors have kids that are in college and getting married and moving into, just young adulthood. And so we are talking to our mentors on a regular basis about how to raise great teenagers, the things that we need to focus on, how much screen time is allowed, how do you navigate social media, with teenagers. What about pornography? We want to protect our sons from pornography. And so those are all things that we are intently focused on as we raise our kids, and we are seeking wisdom in all that we do. Because again, we want to be the light. We want God to be pervasive in our life. We want every aspect of who we are to light up a room when we walk in. We want our kids to light up a room. We want people who don't know God to be able to look at us and our kids in our life and say, wow, there is something different about them. What is it? And when they do, we can share the good news of Jesus with them. So those are just some things that I wanted to share with you guys about mentorship. Mentors I don't think that we would be who we are or where we are if it weren't for great mentors in our life. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys about mentors is make sure that you're praying about mentors. Make sure that as you are seeking out a mentor, that you ask God, who should my mentor be? Lord, who is it that you want me to have as my mentor? And a lot of times, He will lay that person's name on your heart. And really from that point, it's a matter of continuing to pray about what it is that you want that person to teach you, what it is that you want to learn from them, and then give them a call and let them know, hey, I'm looking for a mentor. Ask them to spend some time mentoring you. And it can be on the phone. A lot of times now our mentors are on the phone. We don't spend time with them face to face. Long time ago, whenever I was being mentored by my sweet friend, as for me, as I was engaged, I went to her house on a weekly basis, and that was a real blessing. But now, we've got a busy life. We've got a lot going on in our life. We homeschool and run a couple businesses out of our home, and so the best that we can do is hop on the phone. And so, you want to ask that person, you want to ask that mentor, can you spend an hour once a month with me on the phone? Or 30 minutes even. I'd love to be able to just bounce some ideas off of you. I think that you're a very wise person, You want to let them know what it is that you're looking for in their wisdom. And they will be so honored that you called them, that you've asked. So I want to just encourage you guys, find a mentor. Seek them out. Seek out wisdom, and you'll find it. God is good. Good night.